Your whole life is sitting there, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
It is probably the oldest full-service gas station still around, with, rest assured, the oldest station attendant.
So every once in a while now, I'll think, well, why didn't I quit 25 years ago?
Rainstorms forcing a surge of water into Huntington's underground pipes and lines, causing backup and eventually chronic flooding.
It's 43, 35. This is 42.
In just 30 minutes, about 24 cars were recorded speeding by the Lucas's home. Thanks to national stereotypes and the negative stigma surrounding law enforcement, the number of applicants has dropped dramatically. Even though the city of Huntington is budgeted for 108 officers, which is home to a few hundred families who saw most of the damage due to the thick wooded areas.
I'm just going to be showing you a few lenses here.
Your whole life is sitting there, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
In the few years they've owned Appalachian Pest and Janitorial Services on Route 60, Jay, Rachel, and Jack never thought they would be buckling up their waders to get to work.
Just to see what can be salvaged, if anything.
We can probably make it through the garage.
These small business owners were in early Tuesday morning and opened their doors to find water seeping in, flooding 5 of their vehicles and everything in their office space below 4 feet.
We weathered COVID gracefully by the grace of God. It's to see this and what you work for, it's heartbreaking.
A few hours later, they returned to rescue some of their belongings, personal items, documents, and valuables, armed with totes and a strong sense of faith.
This is a setback for a setup, so we're going to be set up for something. We just don't know what, but we're going to come back strong.
I'm just making sure that we got everything off the floor.
Down the street, closer to West Mall Road, Teresa Albright was on her way in to open up Scrubs Unlimited when she got a panicked call that she better pack up quick.
It's scary. This is my only source of income. This is very scary because, I mean, the longer I'm down, the more I have to worry about paying bills.
For now, they place sandbags.
Yeah, there's no way of blocking it.
And continue to hope and pray, leaning on the strength of one another as they weather another wave of hardship.
We've got a loss, but we'll have a strong recovery, no doubt.
Like a lot of small towns in West Virginia, this community has seen a lot of change. A few hundred people live in Switzer and Logan County, and the world looks a lot different here than it did almost 60 years ago. That is, until you look at this sign hanging outside this building, weathered, the paint peeling, telling us just how long it's been here.
Gave the church a $6 discount.
Or maybe it's a sign showing something that hasn't changed here, something that's remained constant. Or maybe someone.
Yeah, now I can go to work. Okay, then let's see.
Opening the doors each day at Yeager Service Center is something Claude Yeager has been doing since 1963. The place still looks the same as it did when he opened so many years ago, and is probably the oldest full-service gas station still around, with, rest assured, the oldest station attendant.
So every once in a while now, I'll think, well, why didn't I quit 25 years ago?
A far thought from what we're used to now, where you pull into a gas station and do it all yourself.
There's my baby.
At 90 years old, Claude still comes into work every day to his job that, to many, is a thing of the past.
Because this brings reality back. When I was a little girl, this is like being a little girl again when I come in here.
All these years providing service and doing it with a smile. That's what keeps his customers, like Katrina Collins, coming back. She's been coming here since she can remember.
I love you.
I love you too.
Like all of his customers, he knows them by name, offering up that old-time treatment, filling up their gas tank, washing their windows.
If you can't wash it, I can wash it.
Changing an inspection sticker, you name it, he does it for you.
I will pass up every gas station coming around. And I don't do it just because he sells gas. I do it because I love him.
Do you need a little gas today?
To me, he's the pillar of this community. He's just always been here, and I couldn't imagine him not being.
Thank you, baby, and I love you. Have a good day.
I love you.
Okay, baby.
And as soon as he finishes up with one customer, he's got another waiting. Everything's still done at his service center, the old way, of course. No credit or debit cards, simply cash.
And let me find you a 10 in here.
Or just telling Claude, put it on my bill.
They love me and I love them, and it's just like family, you know.
In this fast-paced world, it can be a little hard to keep up with the times. His daughter admitting he's cut back on his hours some over the years.
And there are people who ask me, is your dad ever going to retire? And I'm like, I don't know. It makes me very emotional. And it's a good emotional because, you know, he is Yeager's Service Center.
Would you like to have a cold pop today?
But he's certainly not stopping anytime soon. After all, when you've been a staple in a community for more than 56 years, you have to stay open. That's something that for Claude, time won't ever change.
Bye, hon. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Rainstorms forcing a surge of water into Huntington's underground pipes and lines, causing backup and eventually chronic flooding.
A very critical artery for our city, and one that's been long overdue for development.
Starting Monday, April 5th, the 8th Street underpass will be getting some much needed attention. For about 30 days, the area will be closed to both motorists and foot traffic to replace underground wells, separating stormwater from the sewer, sending it on to 10th Street and eventually out to Four Pole Creek.
You'll see there's one on each side.
It's a moment long overdue for Brian Bracey.
We're finally getting to the point where shovels are going in the ground, and we're close to having this work done. This is a very, I feel very uplifted by that.
Those who live, work, or travel in the area know what it's like anytime there's rainfall to have to deal with the cascade of water. The infrastructure underneath is at least 125 years old, so crews are expecting to have to deal with old sediment and rock. Weather like this will also play a factor in the timeline of getting that work finished.
We're trying to course correct some of the past actions that we either didn't do or haven't done. And I think you learn through history, you learn through experience, and our experience and our history tells us we can do a better job.
The 10th Street underpass will be dealt with next, and as is typical on a rainy day, it was closed Wednesday due to flooding.
You can literally change the way in which water flows that's going to not be such a hindrance on society, not be such a hindrance on the economy.
Brian says after poring over a problem that has inundated the city for a long time, he's looking forward to leaving the underpasses high and dry for many years to come.
We have beautiful country that you're not going to be able to access, that people are never going to be able to see.
In the southern parts of Wayne County along East Lynn, outlaw riding, as they call it, isn't just a hobby. It's a way of life.
These are not friends. This is family. You know, that's why we continue to come down here. I bring my children here. And my two youngest, they won't be able to ride this no more. And they enjoy it. You know.
But it's the famous Hatfield-McCoy feud and their namesake trail that's brewing up a new battle.
Do it the right way for the people of Wayne County. This was Wayne County land, Wayne County people's lands. These families are still here.
A proposal being presented to the Army Corps of Engineers by the Hatfield and McCoy Trail System has drawn some major criticism and backlash, racking up more than 11,000 signatures in an online petition. Officials with the trail system say the proposal would expand their footprint into Wayne County by taking over existing trails in the Eastland Lake area. If it goes through, they say it would close some routes, but it would provide other safe, legal places to ride. For those who have spent their lives riding these trails, they fear the takeover would only take away miles of trail and tread on the experience they know and love.
And a 40-mile trail system is actually going to hurt the businesses that have already started to benefit from this.
And while these riders built a family, others were born blood.
I think there's 180 graves in Sally Smith Cemetery. People have been buried there as recently as this year.
Along the trails are dozens of family cemeteries, generations of loved ones laid to rest, tucked deep into the country. Sounds and voices can carry uninterrupted for miles.
Like the springtime needs the warm sunshine.
This is our family cemetery. We're going to take care of it.
Throughout the rolling hills set up high on a mountaintop, some say it's the peace and quiet that draws them to this eternal sanctuary.
You see people here that you won't see but just that one time. The whole year passed by and you don't get to see nobody hardly anymore.
This annual pilgrimage by the Maynards allows them to honor and celebrate the lives of those who have walked these fields before them.
I'm going somewhere after this life is over.
It's a tradition that needs to be continued.
Graveside cemetery meetings like this happen all summer long and date back to at least the 1800s, a tribute to their ancestors they worry will only be found in history books.
And it's very important to them people that's got a cemetery over on this hill, a cemetery over on this hill. It's very important to everybody in this community.
Senator Mark Maynard plans to be buried here on this land, right next to the rest of his family. But the journey out here is not for the faint of heart.
45 minutes or an hour from the blacktop, but I figure I love this area so good that if somebody wants to visit my grave, they're going to have to drive through the land that I love to see me, and maybe it may spark an interest in them to also love this land.
He fears the trail system may cut off their access to these properties and their need to pay their respects. But we took those concerns straight to the executive director, who says that will never be the case.
In no instance would we ever close off a family's ability to have ingress or egress to the grave sites of their relatives.
Jeff Lusk says the published maps in the proposal don't tell the whole story. The plan is still in the early stages and more work needs to be done.
We will work with you. We will work with the Corps. We're on the front end of this proposal. We're still working with the Corps. The Corps will tell us how they want that ingress and egress to be to those sites.
And while the road ahead may not be paved clearly just yet, those who travel it often say they hope the path through these mountains will always lead them home.
If it be the Lord's will, He'll let us be here next year.
Ever in the light divine.
Kelsey Soto, WSAZ, News Channel 3, Wayne County.
Check out the front of your eye today.
If you build it, they will come.
Our mission is to serve the underserved and to train our students.
And if they don't, then you meet people at their eye level. In this case, built out of necessity in 2015, the Kentucky College of Optometry at the University of Pikeville utilizes a unique clinical model.
Just gonna line your eyes up here.
Sending their future optometrists to work in rural clinics around the region.
So that we're taking the students to the place where the people are that have the conditions that need to be treated.
But it can be really hard to tackle a problem you can't see. Many conditions are going undiagnosed due to a lack of access to care. Other diseases are degenerative and can cause irreversible harm.
Glaucoma is also known as the sneak thief of sight because it typically has no symptoms and it slowly robs people of their side vision and can eventually blind them.
I'm going to show you two different options here.
Kelly Bentley is a fourth-year student of the program and also from rural Kentucky. Her passion stems from a personal connection with her own eye condition.
Your business where my eye turns in, so that's actually what got me interested in optometry. I was always in the optometry office growing up as a little kid.
There's almost nothing more important than your vision. So
the school's dean says their work is critical in catching, diagnosing, and even preventing serious illnesses.
if you can help protect someone's vision, help save someone's vision, or help restore someone's vision, the impact you've had on their life is just amazing.
I'm just going to be showing you a few lenses here.
Kaiko graduated their first class of optometrists last year and are preparing to celebrate another 51 students heading out into the workforce next month.
I think you'll meet these students, you'll realize that they are going to make the world a better place. So that's the best part.
I think the fear is a real thing here, and in a lot of rural communities, because a lot of times the attitude is that if I don't go to the doctor and I don't hear that something's wrong with me, then everything's okay.
A rewarding career and a chance to make a difference in someone's sight.
That first time that they're looking through those eyeglasses and seeing their mom or seeing, the world outside or whatever through, a really new set of eyes.
They're taking the medicine to the mountains and ensuring the fighting spirit of Appalachia is around a long time for the world to see.
Everything looks good.
They've never given up, and I think there's nothing here but a bright future.